everyone. Yep. Cool. We are going to try and complete this insectarium. Great, everything's working fine. Let's start in here. I think I now got the... Let's see. Let's get all this going in here. Hey. Hey, Shadow Clutch. Thanks for the subscribe. Or the resub for 7 months. It's crazy. Crazy. Yeah, really. Thought my son was waking up for a second, but looks like he's fine. So yeah, we're building this insectarium. Quite fun times here. This one is for some... I'm trying to remember what species go here. Should be up here. Best beetles. American giant millipede. Conte's feather millipede and woodlouse. I wonder if we can probably do the African giant millipede as a proxy. It's not quite as colorful as the American one, as if I remember correctly. But it is larger, so we need to try and hide half of it. It's like that. I think it's probably a good... Yeah, for sure. So this is like our insectarium. We've got a few static insects in here, but they really do sell the vibe pretty well. There's not a katydid in the pack, is there? No. Yeah, I think so too. I really like it. So we'll use Madagascar hissing cockroaches as our Florida woods cockroach, even though they don't look super similar. Still gets the point across. Yeah, so we've got, these are all canopy dwellers, or they like to live on the base of trees. So we've got walking sticks and mantises. We have a jumping spider in here, even though you'll never see it because it's not a piece or anything. Then katydids in here. Then we've got life in the rot, which is our detritivores, really live in rotting logs and stuff like that. So we'll have a couple species on here. And then we have life in the litter, which is all about the forest floor. I don't want to add too many in there. There's no way. Yeah, that's kind of the theme also. Oh yeah, there's no way there's a feather millipede in this. But that gets us the general idea for that one. And then in this one, we have the stag beetle and ox beetle, which I need to see what an elk stag beetle is. What species it looks like on here. Okay, so it's like a brown. Kind of looks like that. It's got longer horns than that. Not as. It's pretty close to the giraffe, honestly. Pretty darn close. So then we want to go to nature. Logs. Just some more hollowed out logs here. And then leaves. Maybe some plants. A little nettle in there. But yeah, this is very much focused around kids. Yeah, we really do. Or scaling. Because, like, what the hosta is... Oh, well. You'd actually have to look under the nature tab for the hosta. But it's way too big. I think the best small plants are, like, the temple plants. These work pretty well. In fact, we might shove one in here. Yeah, no, 100%. It's going to be, I mean, not 100%, but almost 100% is going to be part of PZ2, which is just going to be amazing. I think the other really good small one is the Lords and Ladies plant. Yeah. And then we grab a stag beetle. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. What if we just hide him in there? Technically, all of these bugs would be smaller, but and we have more of them in the enclosure. I'm gonna try and make, but you know, PZ is only so limited. What's the next species? Oh wait, those are supposed to go in that tank. We can still keep all that stuff in there, but that's, I was like, that seems way too small. It's supposed to have a scorpion. Southern unstriped scorpion. I was like, this does seem... The fact that all of them say giant scorpion makes me quite unsure that any of these are going to work great. Because this is not a very large scorpion. Okay, this might work. Again, would be smaller than this, but we get a scorpion in there. Now we get that. Now we get the needle. Then we can get this log piece. Because that's what these guys are really focused around is. And then I think we want to go to the Lords and Ladies plant here. Can you think of any other small plants that really work? Besides, like, grass pieces. Oh, have you seen the foliage rework mod? I'm trying to think of... Well, this is a new plant from a mod. It's great. So, like, rework the way that a couple of different plants look. All the flowers look so much better. I think the candelabra tree also looks really good now. Cork oak looks... I'm trying to remember what all got reworked. I think these did. Yeah, the buffalo grass did get this did get reworked. Oh, the biggest thing was, like, so you know we have the grass, but the flowers used to be a different... Oh, it looks like they still are. I thought that they were the same color as the buffalo grass now. daffodil. Maybe some of them are? No. Huh. Did I hear wrong? Is it only certain ones? But yeah, we've got some really good flowers. No. Oh, this is actually... No, it's still way too big. And buffalo grass already looks good. This is the one I'm excited about. They added in rhododendron. Oh, and this one got a huge upgrade. I think hydrangea also got a huge upgrade. Yeah, they're not massive. Like, you can actually... Oh, they got the blue variant too. That's awesome. I love that. Because that's a big thing, is that they changed the color of... They changed their color based off the acidity. Yeah, no, these 100%. Like, because the hydrangea bush was so huge previously that it was just unusable, in my opinion. But like, if we were to take it to a habitat... Hey, egg sandwich! Like, this is our pig habitat now. Yeah, they redid the leaf litter as well. This man really thinks he's the king of the world, huh? That's lit. Yeah, and the safari probably had the biggest... one of the biggest upgrades. Alright, but let's get back to building the insectarium, because I want to get a lot of progress done, and I'd love to be able to work on groundhogs and stuff as well, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. That's right, we want to get our stag beetles. Yeah, how's it going, egg sandwich? You doing alright? Not scorpion, stag. This is going to act as our elk stag beetle, which just kind of feels like repetitive. These will be our ox beetle. And then we've got the Central American blue centipede. Don't think there's going to be a species that really... I do think there's a blueprint, though. Planet Zoo Workshop. Also, I do think it makes more sense that instead of doing the Central American blue centipede here, which, yes, they are found in Alabama and Florida, so... I think we changed this to be the Eastern bark centipede. Man, I hate how that... just barely... Just barely acts up. There's not any way we can, like, fix that, right? I don't think so. So then we need to change this. To Central American blue centipede. Because I feel like that just makes more sense. Now let's see. This is supposed to be the eastern bark centipede. Is it a little janky? Yes. I'll give it a try. It may not be off the top of my head it is, but we'll probably include that in life in the litter. So this is supposed to be like, and then you could hose it. Have I mentioned that, like, centipedes are the only animal I really don't like? Like, I'm fine with snakes, I'm fine with spiders. Roaches, I'm not a giant fan of, but I don't mind them too much. Centipedes, I actually actively dislike. They horrify me. I think this is too big for an eastern centipede. Like, I'm pretty sure they only get about 4 inches long. So we're gonna shorten it. Try and make it a little bit more realistic. Well, I don't really have a problem with millipedes. I think I used to, but they're not so bad. But centipedes just, the fact that they have that many legs, they can get huge. Okay, so we need to cover that up. But that's no big deal. We can just use a bark panel. Well, some of them are venomous. For centipedes, at least. But yes, I concur. Let's see how big basket ferns are. The smallest version, yeah, it's too big. This is also a new modded fern. That sounds about right. This is one that I don't think got reworked. Just sad because it's one of the. Oh, they do have this though. I think I'm gonna use the temple plant though. Yeah, staghorn coral is worst foliage in game, in my opinion, which is unfortunate. I mean, there's really not going to be much we add in here, except for probably a log. One of these small log pieces. Because they need a hide. Oh yeah, there is ledgerine grass that's that small, but I don't think I want it in here. The last one is an Eastern Harvestman, which we like Eastern Harvestman. There's not a chance that there's one. I really want to keep these somewhat simple, because if we don't, it's going to get pretty complicated looking, if that makes sense. And I want it to be somewhat simplistic. Um, so that you'll be able to see, basically. But we'll probably put some drin grass in some of the life in the litter habitats. This one, I think I do want bark panel background. Because Eastern Harvestmen kind of climb all over things. We might put drin grass in here. Now in the game, the drin grass is that big, but we have the smallest ones from the or not. I thought these were smaller than they were. I think branches with no greenery might actually be better here. I really do like to build these small terrariums. They're quite fun. Now, how am I going to do this? I'm trying to figure out what the... It wasn't the pine needles. There was another... wood chip. That's what I think I want to do, wood chip for this one. And then we'll rotate like this. Give it a try. Might go with this idea. Let's see. Okay. No. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we're on a pretty strict Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule now. But I do thank you for tuning in and for subbing again. Does mean a lot. Oh, I thought we were crashing for a second. Ow, that sucks. But yeah, again, thanks for tuning in. Good night. You as well. You have a good night. You're not gonna have a nice stream. We probably need to add some lights to the other enclosure as well. You still here, egg sandwich? How's your Friday been? Don't know why it would do. I don't know why it would turn off the lights, but whatever. Alright, let's get this all in place. That gets us to a pretty good... bunch of habitats. Okay. So in here, we have rainbow scarabs. But it's tiny. It's not really the jewel beetle is kind of closer to a rainbow scarab than... So this guy is going into one of the... There's not a grasshopper, is there? No. Unfortunate. This probably looks the most like the giant wolf spider. Those the same size, yes. Maybe we'll do the giant huntsman a little bit later. So these guys will act as our humpback dung beetle. take that. We'll take some beetles. We'll see. Maybe. We can use those guys as the rainbow scarabs. They don't have a bombardier beetle in here, do they? No, but these guys may look close enough. These are actually getting their own exhibit in somewhere else. In the Appalachian Conservation Cabin, which we do need to build. But they should work if we sink them down low enough. As American bombardier beetles. And then, yeah, the Madagascar hissing cockroach is still the best match for the Florida woods cockroach. I'm gonna make this kind of blend in is the idea. Then we can get some bracken. Some like Christmas tree fern. That's pretty good. And then I can get something like this. want to add some of these leaves in here. Oh my gosh, my son just flipped himself over. I'll be back. Alright, he should be back to sleep. Okay. Then over here, I think we want to go with some form of grass. Probably buffalo. You don't realize just how massive plants are in Planet Zoo. Let me make sure I know more about big lubber or eastern lubber grasshopper. They're poisonous. There's not a chance. No, not really. Let's see. Um, Checking to see if the experts know what the smallest plants in game are. We might come back to that one. Golly, this is hard to control. Very hard to control. Now I need to grab those pieces. We're gonna make this a deeper shade of blue. Again, we're still a little bit larger than the actual species would be, but for Planet Zoo, we will make do with that fact. We might go pretty barren for this enclosure. Because, yeah, don't have a ton of room. That's my nut harvest. Need some grass pieces that are smaller. I need to sit up in a chair. Okay, we're good. We've got the giant wool spider. Next we need the green length spider, which I think we're gonna do temple or... Can we fit up? We can't. I don't even know why I asked. Oh shoot, I missed one. There we go, that's the green lynx spider. The Carolina tiger beetle. Wow, there's like no information. Someone did make a good point. There is indeed small. Hmm. Yeah, that's not. Someone was suggesting that that was the smallest. But this. That's close. To the smallest. Tiger. Beetle. This is probably what we want for our fireflies. All right. I think that's pretty good though. Now we just need to get some more signs in here. Methinks. let's see. Alright, let's see. This sign pack is really nice to be able to just quickly block out some areas that need signage. I mean, alright, we're kind of cooking. I want to create the entryway to this. Let's grab our angry vendor. Probably have so many of these guys just chilling around. I want to create a door. I don't want to use that. I'm going to use the stained wood. You'd be pretty claustrophobic if this was your door, so that's more like it. So we'll grab the paint color. This. We might just do a slightly smaller than real life, just so that we can get the more realistic, the slightly nicer look to it. So it'll be a little short. I mean, still operable. mean, that's pretty nice looking. Let me share this there. All right. Still very proud of that. Let's see, can we make our own custom hinges? I think you'd want the hinges on the outside. So that you can pull it to you. I think you'd prefer it swinging out this way. Could be very wrong, but... the color from this. Let's grab the wood color. Paint color. Right. Then if I put this like so. Um, there we go. Hey, thanks for the follow. Thank you for the follow. We are working on our entrance to this building here. And realizing we need to get this all lined up or it's not. Hello! How's your Friday? The best kinds of Fridays are. Now the question is, first of all, nice. It actually got warmer today than it was yesterday, which is fine. I normally like the cold, but it's been really cold recently. I mean, for really cold for where I live, which is not that cold. Yeah, no, it's in the 50s or 60s. Obviously, we'll have to put some sign, but I've got someone else is working on a custom font there. Yeah, yeah. I'm down south. Okay, so I think that gets us our doorway there. Looks pretty good. I mean, everyone is for a while. Everyone starts off as a grid habitat person. Um, biggest tip I can say is try and build something small. There's a few things that have really helped me in this zoo. One of them was I started off with using a terrain map, so it forced me to use different terrains, um, and so that really makes you do fun stuff like elevation's always going to help your habitats. So this hill really makes this habitat look nicer. But I would suggest try and start off with a habitat really small. And you can even do square ones. Square ones aren't the issue. I mean, heck, this is just a little rectangle for a blue jay, you know, an animal that's not even in the game. Or, not that one, but the rockwork in this got destroyed. I don't know how. Oh my gosh. Well, and this one. What the frick? How? Thanks. They were. I noticed that my cougar habitat was looking. Oh, cool! Like Disney Animal Kingdom. I know a couple of people who are doing stuff like that. No, cool. But like, I mean, this is a pretty simple habitat. Just some barnyard. If you go small, it really gives you. Sweet. I think we're going to upgrade this one. Because I'm not happy with how it's looking. And I've kind of reworked how I want it to look. Because it doesn't really fit in with the rest of the habitat. Yeah, no, that's what I'd say is I think a small habitat where you really just... Yeah, again, I think small and then take your time. That's my biggest suggestion. So we're gonna upgrade this by making it a fully meshed enclosure. I mean, yeah, the game is very much an OCD fest. But like this habitat, for example, is going to be a small little rectangle. Because it's for a chipmunk. So we don't really need much. Where is he? This is a mod. I do play modded. Where do I? Where is that little guy? Where are you, Gerald? He's just there. So we're going to start off with my favorite elevation build I was been working on recently was this. Okay, cool. So we want to build something similar to this. So this was the original. So we'll just split that from... And then we're going to get a metal beam piece that works well for it. And then we'll... I usually do my own stuff, but because I really feel like that gets you to a point that you feel more confident with it. I don't know if I want it to be that tall. This is kind of my little playground. I highly recommend a little area where you can just kind of fiddle around with other people's blueprints. Yeah, I will be creating a sign, or I will be creating some blueprints for signs and fences in the near future. So yeah, just kind of piecing little groups. Is that tall enough for chipmunks? It probably is. I don't really want to give them that much more height. Question is, do I want to just Let's grab the color here. I'm trying to go for more of a matte rather than a glossy green on this one. So it's really... Piece knowledge is something that's also super helpful. Like, I know that these pieces... I know they are always pretty... like this matte color. And then we're gonna grab some mesh. Oh, thanks. That should be good enough to keep chipmunks out. And we're using this color of green, but I think we might, for the mesh, make it black, because it makes it so you can see off through it better. Now let's try. There's a few pieces that we could try to get the look I'm going for here. Could do a bunch of those, but I don't really like that idea. Of course, we can always use the Americas. What DLCs do you have, if any? One bad thing about this piece is it does give us the more it's more metallic. It should be fine. Make it a small edge there. And then we're just going to bring this up here, making it look like this is like the metal piece that really holds the mesh together. Then we'll just grab all of this. there's some good packs. I'd highly recommend the tropical pack because it has some great pieces. And some really good animals. I also personally really like the America's Animal Pack for some of its pieces and the Asia Animal Pack for some of its pieces, but I know those aren't as popular in the community. That really makes it feel pretty solid, which is good. I really like this concrete color that we have over here. Yeah, same. I stopped playing at around the Africa pack, and I got back into it during the Zookeepers pack. So yeah, it's something that happens for sure. So now we've got this, we can sink this in like so. I do want it taller, quite a bit taller. That's no problem though. No problem. You can adjust on the fly. Just this one. I find that if I try and do more than one project at a time, I find myself wanting to build one more than the other. And it just kind of kills my motivation for one of them. So I try to stick to one project at a time. I used to, but I kind of got burnt out on franchise. That's how I got my start. And then I just kind of figured out I just prefer to just build in freedom. Wasn't a big fan of having to... The easiest way to select this stuff is going to be just deselect the stuff we don't need. Then we can just grab this. Yeah, there was a lot of sittering around and waiting in franchise, and I wasn't too interested in that. I mean, this zoo is somewhat sizable. This is in what is called ZSU, called Zoo Sims United. There might be a description for it. There's not a description for it in the video or in the title. The description, but you actually have to trade with other players. It's called franchise, as it's meant to be. So you actually trade between players on a Discord server, and like your animals breed through that, and it's pretty fun. So this is my zoo for that, and so it's kind of franchisey, but instead of money, it's more getting species is the difficult part. Like you actually have to have experience for the animals that you're trying to house, as opposed to just being able to unlock everything. So I started with this whole zoo is focused around animals of the southeast in particular. Um, and so I started with things like raccoons, opossums, and those were kind of my starter animals. Yeah, it's a fun concept. So this right here is not going to be a thing anymore. We're going to go for more of a custom climbing frame. It's nice while it lasted. I think it's time to merge this into one group. And then there's some animals you can get really easily, like domestics. So these, you don't even have to trade, you can just buy them from stores and stuff. Same thing for insects, which is what we've been working on recently. But um, animals that were a little harder for me to get, uh, well, the hardest, my pride and joy for um, stuff that we have is the uh, red hill salamander, which of course there's not an actual salamander in game to represent that, but we're one of also a bunch of my rock work got deleted in here as well. It's making me wonder if there was just this one massive group that we that got deleted. But that's an endangered salamander species. That's the native or the state animal of Alabama, and only two ZSU facilities hold them, and no real world zoos hold them. So that's a difficult to obtain species, which I'm only able to keep because they are native to my region. So you get to build a little bit of pride in your zoo for, like, I had to write an application for that species. Or like bog turtles, which are in my Appalachian conservation cabin, and they are critically endangered, and only I think we're one of the only. I think we might be the only zoo that has a breeding population of them. So I'm actually able to breed those and kind of create a population for other zoos to have. So things like that are kind of cool. I made the mistake of not raising this to the proper level. Unless all of these are slightly off. No. Okay. But this is really looking at like some of the warehouse cages that we have at my work, which is funny. But that's exactly what I wanted to go for, was a very industrial, low budget look for this habitat. I mean, it's a chipmunk. It's not like we're doing crazy habitat work here. Um, okay. Let's see. Let's say we grab all of this. No, we're gonna have to actually This is maybe a little trickier than I thought here. No big deal. We'll just select everything here. This is why we should have kept it separate. See. I still very much make mistakes in my building process and make it harder for myself. Great thing about Planet Zoo is you can basically fix whatever mistakes you make. It's just how much time is it going to put you back. This mistake shouldn't put me back too much time. Biggest thing is we can't put the mesh right. So we'll have to redo half of the mesh. I don't know why that is funky. Oh, yes I do. We'll have to be smarter next time and keep an eye on things. The biggest thing is you gotta remember that your axis can change its rotations weirdly, depending on if you've moved items around too much. So I need to click this, then flip it around. That should make it better. It may not have. May just have to brute force this. Oh my gosh, that's about the dumbest way that could have gone. Okay, so now that goes there. That goes just like, well actually, we want to keep this like here. Now we can grab all this. It can be very tedious, but okay, cool. We've selected everything there. Yeah, that's my wife on it. So we will be ending the stream here shortly. That puts us in a great place for next week to be able to work on the groundhog habitat, probably. Be the primary focus. And then probably finishing just a little bit of the interior. And then we'll be done with this area. Which is great, because this has been one of the first areas of the zoo. It would be really nice to be able to get it finished. So now we just have to do all that process pretty much over again. Except we have to do it twice, but then we won't have to do it again. So, again, I could have made this easier on myself, but I grouped everything too early. Sometimes it's really smart to group things together, sometimes it's best to keep them separate. I have a problem of grouping things together too quickly, and then it makes it a little bit more difficult. And then we just grab all this metal pieces. And they're so tiny, it's hard to grab. I don't need that. Looks like I've got everything. So let's grab the mesh. Now we can just kind of drag this along. Now I'm pretty sure that the mod is based off the meerkat, which means that they won't actually be able to climb. But we're going to give them a small little climbing frame anyway. Because in real life, chipmunks do climb, even though they are more of a ground squirrel. But if you look through here, yeah, you'll get a pretty good look at them indoors and outdoors. Okay, and then we grab colors from like this. I think will be nice to have as a slight frame. I think we might put some, we might try and do some stone as the foundation. Because we did that in a different building, and I feel like it would tie everything nicely together. So if I grabbed like this, exit, and then we'll come over here. So we'll grab this, bring it up right there. That will cover up a lot of this. Of course, we'll have to do a stairwell here, but I'm not sure exactly how I want to do that yet, so we'll figure that out at a later date. Just want to get this. work and just general getting the base set in. Here we're gonna pause because we don't know what we're gonna do there. Of course we could. We have alignment inverted. Do sort of a natural climbing frame. Vaguely. Don't really want to use a plank. Let's see. Um, grab this and we'll move it in here. But again, I'm pretty sure yeah, he can't climb, but I mean, if we got time, let's try. Let's see. Something like that kind of works. And we'll slip this in like here. Then we probably want something like, let's grab one of the fences that I made. I feel like this fence would be great for this section. Over here. Except with a few modifications, like don't need this to be there because we're not. Are all of these just off by a bit? It looks like. Oops. Let's grab this. see. Alright, my wife is here, so I'm going to be ending the stream. We just move this all into place. It's kind of... But there's not multiple habitat gates. We might just move it back into place. Yeah, we'll build a fence around. We'll build our own custom one of these. But that's going to be it for today. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye now.